I recently came across a video by Prager University on the topic of free will. I don't agree with many of the political views this channel endorses, and yet I have great respect for the speakers it regularly hosts. Pulitzer Prize winners, Harvard professors, former prime ministers. That's why it was all the more surprising that this channel uses such faulty reasoning to arrive at the conclusion that free will exists. In a previous video, I've called the concept of free will into question, but that doesn't mean I don't think there are good arguments to be made for its existence. This video by Prager University, however, fails miserably at making any of them. Instead, it claims that as long as we agree that we're more than just mere matter, it follows logically from that we must have free will.
I ask you, where do you want to go for lunch today? Now, if all you are is a brain, an exhaustively physical system of neurons and synapses, then there's no you that's going to be making a choice at all. If you're something more than your brain, if you're the thing that has the brain, then when I ask you, where do you want to go for lunch? You're going to start deliberating. You're going to be weighing your taste preferences, the commute time, perhaps even counting calories.
I do believe that we're more than just our brains, more than just mere matter. Because if there's anything you can be absolutely sure about, it's the existence of your own consciousness. As René Descartes put it, I think, therefore I am. You might be in utter confusion about the physical state of the universe, because this just might be a vivid dream of yours, or you might be part of a simulation on an alien supercomputer. But that you have an experience of some sort is the one thing you can't be confused about. And as the video rightly points out, even a full understanding of the brain in scientific terms cannot give a complete picture of what is actually going on subjectively.
Even if you were the world's foremost brain expert and you knew what was happening with every electron in someone's brain at a specific particular moment, you still wouldn't have a clue about what's going on inside that person's mind.
The fact that the mind is mysterious and difficult to describe is not at all proof of the existence of free will. The ability to form thoughts and intentions unconstrained by previous physical states would require that the mind is completely independent of the brain. But in fact, we have every reason to believe that the mind is in some sense what the brain is doing. That is why introducing an anesthetic chemical to the brain can have the effect that it has, which is the temporary shutting down of consciousness. And if during surgery certain parts of the brains are damaged, the patient may wake up having a different mind than before, their personal memories missing or certain mental capabilities gone. Even if one were to believe that there's no matter and just consciousness, philosophers refer to this view as idealism. The path to free will is not at all straightforward. Anyone that has ever tried to sit still and meditate will soon find out that thoughts simply arise, whether or not the conscious you decides to think them. To claim control of that process would in some sense require to think your thoughts before you think them. At the end of the video, he says something that I think reveals his true motivation for arguing for the existence of free will.
Free will is an illusion, a myth. Now, why do they believe this? Because they understand that the moment they acknowledge that free will exists, that there really is an immaterial you beyond the physical realm, then there has to be something non-physical that accounts for our non-physical minds. You're going to probably reason, just like I did, that there's a great mind that accounts for the origin of your mind.
So he assumes that people want to argue against the existence of free will because they want to argue against the existence of God. When in actuality, these are two totally separate questions. It's very possible that God could have created a deterministic universe. That is a universe without any agents that have free will. But because in his mind one follows from the other, and he evidently believes in God, he thinks free will is where I have to put my foot down. Again, there are ways to make a convincing case for the existence of free will, but this video is certainly not one of them.